know if I have reached a new level of enlightenment or if I have just become dangerously apathetic. But I care so little about so many things these days. I wear my mask, I wash my hands, and I mind my business. I have fewer worries and more free time. I've just shut out all of this and focused on this. And I feel like a new person. So if you also want to streamline your day, your week, your life, let's go. Hi guys, it's Laura and I want to tell you the most ridiculous story. This is part of the November campaign that I run every year where we all say no to something. Just a big old nope. And this year I have decided that I am going to be saying no to overcomplicating things. So the story, this happened to me a few weeks ago, and when I say that it changed my life, I mean it turned my world upside down. And all over a toothbrush. There was a before Laura and there is an after Laura. It's like two different people. Let me set the scene for you in case you don't know me. I am an ambitious, overachieving, type A perfectionist. I want to do all the things. I want to do them all perfectly, right down to the teeny tiniest detail. And I want everyone to think I'm flawless. Yeah, we've got a lot of work to do here. Basically, I want to be a robot, but I am trying so hard to be human. My toothbrush. Okay, bear with me on this one because I promise I have a point. It's an electric one, comes with an app. When I switch on the toothbrush, the app starts up a 2-minute timer and it tracks all of my dental activity. So I get streaks for number of days that I have brushed, flossed, etc. Great for someone like me who loves all of the stats and badges and rewards and wants to be the best at everything. Except a few weeks ago they updated the app and now it's temperamental. Now it only sometimes starts the timer and it only sometimes tracks what I'm doing. I don't know, it's going through puberty or something. And I was furious because I was missing out on all of those badges and streaks and rewards and all of those good things through no fault of my own. I was still putting in the work, but I wasn't being rewarded. And I would love to tell you that it was an instant epiphany for me, but it took a while. Eventually, I stopped using the app. Now, if you are not a perfectionist, you are probably rolling your eyes right about now. But let me tell you, as someone who clings to routine and rewards and perfect scores, I knew the app would eventually be fixed and its voice would break and it would love its parents again and I would get back on track and all would be right with the world, except for the fact that I realized I just didn't care. And this brings me to the first way that you can streamline your day, and that is, okay, normally what I would tell you is to focus on your why. Find out what your why is, why you want to do something, why you're going to do something, because that is going to be your deep personal motivation that is going to keep you going. But the past few months, I have realized that instead of doing that, I have been asking myself, to what end? It's a very subtle difference. The reality is that I can give you 11 bajillion reasons why I was using that app. You know, dental hygiene, very important. It's keeping me on track, you know, forcing me maybe to floss my teeth on the days that I may not want to. It's also just part of the whole electric toothbrush ecosystem. So I want to make the most of that system, you know, use everything in it. But then I asked myself, to what end? To what end was I tracking all of my brushing? What was the outcome of all of that tracking going to be? Was I going to be on my deathbed someday, delighted with myself? Like, oh, look at that. 20,000 days of good dental hygiene. Because realistically, no matter how good I am, I'm probably not going to have any teeth left by then. Now, obviously, I'm still going to brush and floss daily. I was doing that long before the app came along, and I will be doing it now that I have stopped using it. But ever since I stopped caring about tracking it, I have basically stopped caring about everything. I tell you, this toothbrush and its app are like the gateway drug to apathy. So throughout your day, when you're doing something, stop and ask yourself, to what end am I doing this? What is the outcome? What will I get from this when all is said and done? And that question alone is going to cut out so much clutter and nonsense from your life. Because really, there should only be two things in your day, and if something doesn't fall into like one of these two buckets, consider chucking it. They are the things that you have to do and the things that you want to do. Now, I know it sounds so simple, right? But really look at what you are doing on a daily basis and ask yourself if it falls into one of these two categories. And genuinely, like, is this something that you actually have to do? Eating, sleeping, that type of stuff. Or is it something that you actually want to do? Now, I know at this stage you're probably ready to throw your mop out the window, but let's bring this back around to our original question. You might not want to clean. That's probably what you're thinking right about now, but do you want the result? Like, to what end are you doing that cleaning? Chances are yes, right? You do want that result. So now it just becomes a question of, which do you want more? Do you want to clean the house yourself, or do you want to have someone else clean it? Obviously, budget is a factor. You know, you still have to pay for groceries. But when it comes down to wanting the end result, which is it? Okay, so let's dive into this idea a little bit deeper, because I know it's not as straightforward as that. I know you're probably sitting there thinking, oh, I can't just ditch everything that I don't have to or want to do. Like, there is a gray area. First of all, is there really? Or is that just something that you are telling yourself, or that someone else has told you? Is it more of a should? Listen, there are so many things going on in the world right now, and sometimes it feels like all of them are bad. And I know you're thinking, I can't just stop caring. Can't just stop doing things. So what I'll say here is to focus on the things that are inside your control or your influence. You can't control COVID. You can't control how other people react to it, but you can wear a mask, wash your hands, and mind your business. Circle of control. So when you're thinking about the outcome, make sure that it's something that you actually have control over. I am so guilty of this when I set goals for myself, like, you know, oh, I want 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and that's all great and everything, but the reality is I have no control over whether someone subscribes to my channel or not. But what I do have control over is the quantity and the quality of videos that I put out, and where and how I promote those videos. Circle of control. And then circle of influence. So after I have taken care of everything that I have some control over, then I can extend that out to the things that I have some influence over. Obviously, I can't force my friends and my family to do things, or just strangers on the street, but I can influence them. Maybe I can lead by example, discuss different perspectives calmly. Don't blame me. Don't come back to me when you get into a fist fight with your Uncle Bob. That's on you. But anything that falls outside of control or influence, have tos, want tos, you can probably just cut those. Now, in terms of control, this next step is going to sound like a contradiction to advice that I have previously given, but it's not. I've just put a different spin on it. Consume more content, but the right types of content, because remember, you have a lot of control over what you see in your timeline. You have control over the people that you choose to follow. You have control over which videos you click on to watch. Thank you for clicking on this one. So consume more of the content that makes you feel calm or that inspires you or just makes you feel good. Things that speak to your heart and to your character and the person that you want to be. Or just the content that tickles your funny bone. Take control of your timeline and your TV and only watch the things, only look at the things that you really want to consume. Choose how you want to spend your time there. See how it's all tying together so nicely? This is why I script my videos, folks, because if I did not have this written down step by step, I'd be rambling all over the place and it would be not tying together nicely at all. But then when you have got everything boiled down to your needs and your wants and a lot of the unnecessary stuff is starting to fall away and you're thinking, hey, this is pretty nice, this whole intentional living thing. I'd like to keep this up. Then you can start going for 1% improvements. Here is another of my ridiculous stories to illustrate this point. Laundry. I only do laundry on Sundays. I've managed over time to like streamline it down to just that one day. But recently I started asking myself, how can I make this process, this routine, 1% better, 1% easier, 1% faster? And I realized that something I was doing was, going around the house, collecting up all of the towels and cloths and stuff, putting them in the washing machine, and then going back around and putting out all of the fresh towels. Now I grab the fresh towels first, throw them up on my shoulder, and I go around, and as I'm taking off the dirty ones, I put out the fresh one. And then I only have to make one trip around the house instead of two. And look, I know you're sitting there thinking, yeah, that was pretty obvious. Why weren't you doing that all along? But it's because I have been focusing on other things, streamlining and trying to get it down to just one load of laundry a week. I will say my husband does do the bedclothes separately, but that's it. I do one load of laundry, and now I'm working on how I can make that process a little bit better. Did it happen overnight? Nope. But did I make a conscious effort over time to take some baby steps in the right direction that would, give me a little bit of momentum and make sure that I was making progress? And now all of that has added up to massive time and energy saving for me. So if you really want to streamline your day, start with your needs, identify those, schedule those, and then add in your wants, your genuine wants. Remembering to ask yourself what the end result will be, and then focusing on your circle of control and your circle of influence. Then when you start seeing progress there, you can work on your 1% improvements to streamline and simplify even further. It is how I managed to get so much done in a day but still have loads of free time left over afterwards. I do the things I need to do, then I do the things I want to do, and then I just don't care about everything else. I mean, it's still a work in progress, but life is simpler now. And that is what this November is all about. Say no to anything that is not simple and straightforward. Let me know if you will be joining in and if you are going to be taking on this particular challenge or if you are going to be saying no to something else. If you're looking for ideas, I will link previous November videos for you. Now, be sure that you are following me on Instagram because all month I am going to be sharing additional tips there to help you out even more. Go raibh míle maith agam, agus feicim mé sibh go luath. Slán!